Hello and welcome to our next episode. For the first 5 to 6 episodes, I really wanted to create them all together in a sequence so you can really binge them and listen to them and make them really short and potent and really to help you change the way things more than giving you other prompts or things to do or tactics or homework. So today we are going to talk about the real reason people don't remember you. And I know it can sting, I don't know how to say this when I say it, but have you ever met someone and they look the part, they look brilliant, they speak well, they do everything that they are supposed to do, but still a week later or 2 days later, you don't even remember them. You don't remember their name or what they do or who they are. And it's not because they didn't explain themselves correctly or they were like annoying or anything like that. But you have probably met someone with a branding problem. Because everything in your life is actually branding. And let me explain that. The branding is not just how you show up in your business or the color you use or the font you use, especially when we are talking personal brand. Everything you do and everything you say and how you show up and how you talk and how you dress yourself and how you show up and how you present yourself, all of those things is branding. It's not just what you put out there on social media. It's not just your website. It's not just your color palette or your logo. Everything is branding. Everything needs to be coherent with the branding and the image and the truth you want to communicate to people. So I don't think people are forgettable because they need a better elevator pitch or a better logo or a better color palette or pretty website. I think people become forgettable because they've spent so long trying to be accepted. And especially this is a pandemic, epidemic within women. I speak a lot about dismantling or disrupting the identity of the good girl. Because for so long, especially again, women have been taught that in order to be successful, they had to be liked. They had to be accepted. In order to be seen, they had to be liked. They had to be accepted. So when you're trying to be accepted, of course, you are filtering yourself through the lens of what people think about me. What are people gonna say about me? What are gonna people judge me? And so instead of showing up in the fullness of who you are, you always edit part of you and your personality and your weirdness and your way of behaving and saying things and doing things through the filter and the lens. Is this gonna be accepted by people? Is this thing gonna make me more likable or less likable? And so when you try to be likable, you become forgettable because we never remember the people that blend in, the people that say the same stuff as everyone else. We never remember the people who are trying so hard to be someone or fit into an identity, a box. Like, we feel that there is a disconnection. So one thing I always do, and I'm gonna ask you the same when I work with my clients on branding and their magnetic branding is always to ask the people, 2 or 3 people in your life who love you the most and who know you from long time, or maybe even not long time, but why do they fall in love with you? Why did they fall in love with you? And this is such a powerful question, because people fall in love with you only when you are authentic, only when you are true. Have you ever gone on a date and tried so bad to get the guy or be liked by the guy that you stopped being yourself? You started playing a role, playing a part in order to be liked, in order to be accepted, in order to be how someone wanted you to be. And what happens is, even if you ended up getting on a second date or third date, first is incredibly energy draining and stressful to try all the time to control yourself and what you say and who you are and how you show up. And secondly, you will never build a true relationship of love and trust and confidence and unconditional acceptance when you try to be someone you are not. And so I remember asking my husband this question: why did you fall in love with me? And he said, because you were one of the first women I met that didn't try hard to be liked or play games or say the right thing at the right moment. You were truly you, truly authentic. And that was such a fresh breath of fresh air, because I've dated other women who were like not real, not authentic. And he even said, one of the things I loved the most about you at the beginning was that when we met, you immediately told me, I'm not looking for a quick thing or just to have sex, but I'm looking for a long-term relationship. So if you are not open to that, we can stop seeing each other. So I was really clear from the get-go of what do I want, who am I in this relationship, what am I expecting, what are my standards, and I was willing to lose the man, the dating, to not self-abandon myself, to not self-abandon what I wanted and what I believed to be true for me, because I was looking for a long-term partner, a long-term relationship. So when you try so much to be liked, whatever is in dating, in relationship, in business relationship, like you try to be more nice. You try to not upset anyone. You try to be more palatable. You say things the way people expect you to say. You fit into the market. You try to sound a certain way, professional, more authority, whatever. You try to follow formulas who tell you how you are supposed to be and show up. You slowly, the more you do that, you slowly, without even realize that, lose your edge. Lose your opinions, lose your original thoughts, you lose your strong point of view, you lose your edge, the things that make you. And then you're like, whoa, why nobody remembers me? Because of course there is nothing to be remembered about someone who is spending her entire existence or her entire interaction trying to be liked. So the other thing I want to tell you is, I think we got this backwards. People teach a lot about being visible, going viral, reach, more people. And I think those things can be important for a certain season of visibility, maybe. But when they become your sole focus, the target, you lose the true goal, which is the fact that recognition matters way more than reach. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you can go viral to 1 million people, 5 million people, but it doesn't matter if those people don't really recognize you, if they don't see anything different or unique about you. You are like maybe an entertaining thing they see, or a funny thing, or an emotional thing, but then they really quickly forget about your existence. So the question I think we need to ask ourselves, what happens if 1 million people see you and nobody remembers you? Because reach creates visibility and recognition creates demand. So what we want is actually to create demand for our offers, for our brand, for our business, for our genius, not just reach and virality. So I rather have 100 women who instantly think of me when I think about authority and unmistakable brands, rather than 1 million people who scroll past me tomorrow because I sound exactly like everyone else. So the recognition is actually what creates demands, trust, referrals, market share, premium positioning, and it's not created through focusing on volume, but it's created through focusing on being truly who you are and bring forward your unique way of thinking, like perspective shift type of work, of content, because we are bored to see 3 ways to, the 7 things to, 5 things I would do. We have seen this content all over our feed, and honestly, right now with AI, we can ask AI to give this type of content to give this type of content to us, and no one would say, oh, that's so Elisa, or that's so Jamie. They would say, oh, nice. So the majority of people become then actually invisible, because hear me out on this. This might sound a bit controversial, but I don't think the majority of the experts online have this problem. I think they have a audacity, a conviction problem, because expertise matters. Of course it matters. But we assume, I give for assumption that you are expert in what you do and what you sell. So that's a given for me. That's the bare minimum. But conviction in what you believe to be true, conviction in who you are, on your unique point of view, on your thoughts and beliefs, change people's minds. And when people have a shift in perception, have a shift in their mind, they are gonna start associating you with that, and they are gonna start remembering you, because they are like, wow, this is so different. I never heard about this, or maybe I heard about this, but I never heard explained that way. I never heard someone articulating the things that way, and so it sticks. It sticks to them. We want a brand and a messaging and a content that sticks in people's mind and perception, because anyone can teach sales or Instagram, branding, but people are bored about that first. And second, people remember the person who makes them question something they've always believed. People remember the person who made them question something they always believed. Think about the ideas that stay with you for a long time. They are rarely, I think, tactics or strategy. They are perspective shifts. They are belief shifts. So that shows also that if in your content you are able to change people's perception and perspective and beliefs, they are also a mentor who is gonna return the authority back to you, back to your own authority. Because the moment someone in their brand trusts their own authority and they are not trying to be like someone else, or they are not trying to be liked, they are also gonna be an expander for you to actually step into that same frequency, into that same energy, and they are gonna help you come back to your own power, to your own authority, to your own thinking, to your own way of seeing things, not mine. I don't want my clients to have my same exact beliefs or have my same exact way of see things or saying things, have the same color, the same. No, I don't want that. I want that by being the most real, truthful, authentic version of myself, I give them permission to do that for themselves, to be that for themselves, and to come back to their own power and their own knowing, not mine. Okay? So for a long time, myself, I had the same issue. I thought my job was to explain myself better, to make people understand what I was saying, to make sure everyone get what I was trying to say, what I did. Like business coach, brand strategist, human design expert, psychic, luxury brand advisor. And they all were good, but I also felt restrictive label that after a while felt like suffocating. And so because I stopped trying, when I stopped trying to obsess over being liked, being understood, being like super clear that everyone could really get what I was saying, I went back to what I really want to say. What do I really want to be known for? Because it's not like the brand mentor or the strategies, which are all true things, and the business coaching, but my work has always been about helping women trust themselves enough to build lives and businesses that are fully their own. That's always been the thread behind everything I did. The other things were just tools, but I feel the most happy and the most satisfied and that I've done my job when my clients are like, Eli, I'm in my power now. Eli, fuck, I can trust myself now. Wow, I know exactly where I'm going, who I am, what I want, what I don't want. And I have the courage to go for it, to sell that offer, to charge that price, to speak about those things that I truly care about, to create a brand that is unmistakable and uncopyable, even if it's not the mainstream or what other people do or what people expect me to do. So when I stop trying to fit into a category, I stop trying to explain myself and I start asking myself, what do I want to be remembered for? And so that's a question I think every founder should ask herself. What do I want to be remembered for? Because it's much bigger context then what's my category? What's my niche? And the other thing to ask yourself is, what idea do I want people to associate with my name? What do you hope they will say? What is the sentence that instantly comes to mind without overthinking? And every time I was asked that question, or I asked myself that question, I want people to associate me and my work with personal power, with coming back to your authority and to your personal power. And all the things around that and all the things I do are just a consequence of that core belief. Because unforgettable brand, unmistakable brand are built around one strong belief, or maybe two or three, like however you like it, but one strong belief that your audience, your people associate with you with. So I wanted to ask yourself today, to leave you with another question. Instead of asking yourself what my content should be about, ask yourself, what do I want to be remembered for? What do I want to be known for? And what is that belief, that idea that keeps coming back, that I want people to associate to my brand and my name? And I see you on the next one. Bye for now.